All right, hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. I'm kind of in an odd position here. I'm trying to get a camera setup that works in this particular vehicle, which is a mess behind me because I am in the middle of setting up a bed frame kind of thing. So it's been a while. I've noticed that I haven't been able to actually successfully complete a video in the style that I prefer to do for month and a half because I'm never alone in the boat at this point, and we've been doing crazy stuff outside of the boat. Now there's a van. Woo, there's a van. Probably going to be doing a lot of 50-50. So half boat, half van, half boat, half van for a little while. And we might get a home base for a little while so that I can work on a different boat. So stuff that's happening. This is a little bit of an odd thing. I need to get the camera lower but further away from the windshield with the magnetic mount that I'm using so that I can get things to work right, and I haven't quite got that figured out yet. This is actually a really good mount for navigation, but it doesn't quite do what I need it to do, stay where I need it to stay to do this. So getting there. We are getting there. I'm going to talk a little bit today, just a little bit today, about some van stuff, and then I'm going to talk about some more boat stuff, and then hopefully I'll get my sync and my groove and my whatever vibe back and be able to do regular, useful videos with content that actually kind of matters. I have so much to talk about with air conditioners and heating and docking and the season. This sailing season, this cruising season, and stuff that's going on. The Bahamas, if you happen to have a boat that you're taking it to the Bahamas, if you're over, it's metric, so it's 48 or 50 feet, you have to have an active AIS system, and it has to be on all the time while you're docked, while you're anchored, while you're off the boat, while you're on the boat, and they have a fine structure, fee structure, like fines, $1,000 fines. So that is a thing that you need to worry about if you have a boat of significant size. They've also changed a lot of the fishing rules because people realized that they could just go across in a center console when the weather's decent. A lot of people have just been abusing the ocean fisheries off from Florida, like going from Miami, just chugging across in a 20 foot center console fishing boat. So it's getting a little bit weird, and there's some fees and some licensing and stuff going on. You might want to look that up, especially if you are a cruiser who uses fishing for some of your sustenance. Those are just some things that I've noticed. Van stuff. So this is a minivan. This is another one of the Dodge Grand Caravan things. I love Grand Caravans. I love Chrysler Town & Country's Dodge Grand Caravans, whether they are the older bug shape or the newer square shape. I haven't actually owned a Pacifica. I think they're pretty similar and have similar space. You have basically got a 4 foot by 8 foot box in the back. Depending on how you've got your front seats set up, I consider it more like a 4 foot by 6.5 foot box. It just seems to work better with being able to manipulate the front seats and slide them back and lean them back. Once you go up 30 inches, you've got to deal with the seat back. And that's actually a pretty big space. Okay, 4 by 8, 4 by 7, 4 by 6.5. That is a significant space. There are kits out there that you can buy for a Dodge Grand Caravan that will turn it into any level of crazy things. Some of the kits, the bed turns into a table and there's a pull-out kitchen and everything. And, some of them are $5,000, which is more than the van costs. And one of the reasons I like Dodge Grand Caravans is that you can get a very good, well-running, reliable van with pocket seats, so you can make it flat for under $4,000. Depending on how you like to do things, it could be $8,000. It could be $1,500, and you put $1,000 into deferred maintenance. Do all the fluid changes, make sure the belt is new, do the spark plugs and the wires, like do the stuff. up to you how you do it. Tires are always going to be, questionable. This one, the tires are a little bit questionable. I give them, 6 months before I get frustrated with the quality and the air pressure and everything, and switch them to light truck tires. That's one thing I do with the vans. If you're traveling in the van, you're going to have it loaded a little bit all the time, and it's going to sit differently. If you want to adjust the rear suspension, stiffen it up a little bit, you can. Up to you. So, make it not look saggy when you've got all the weight in it. I like to run load range D or E tires. So more or less commercial light truck tires, what you would put on an F-250 or an E-250 or E-350 van, and they tend to be higher pressure, so they're going to run 50 psi. Depends on what you're doing, what the load range is and what the tire is. 45 to 60 psi, like they get up there. I find that while the ride is a little less comfortable, I guess, like you can feel the ride a little more, you can feel the road a little bit more. I find that my gas mileage and the tire longevity is improved. It's a better tire for running down freeways on a load, and that's most of what you do when you're doing this. Most of your real driving is going to be like that. They still do just fine in the dirt, in the gravel, when you're on a Forest Service road or whatever, National Forest road. So whatever. I do that, and we're not doing that yet. I will eventually. Don't forget your spare in a Dodge Grand Caravan or Chrysler Town & Country. Your spare is right below your front seats. Remember, this is a front-wheel drive vehicle. There's nothing behind the dashboard. Nothing that matters behind the dashboard. Your transmission, your engine, everything is forward of the dashboard. So you've got this big space under the front seats because there's no pockets for the pocket seats, and that is where your spare tire sits. Full-size spare fits right in there. You have to jack up the van and drop the tire and pull it out. It's kind of annoying to change the tire, but it's there. Don't forget that when you do your tire changes, get the best of your used tires and swap it out there. It's going to cost you a few dollars extra because they're going to have to drop the tire, but always remember to do that. Other things. So if you don't want to do the expensive build, what you do is you get some milk crates. And the back of the van, where the third row seat sits, is 2 inches higher than the center second row seats of the van. So regardless of whether you're pulling the seats out and putting covers over or not, it's going to sit like this. So if you use milk crates, you can use, they go 3 wide is good, and then you'll have 4 in the back, 4 in the front, basically, or not 4, 6, 3 wide, 2 deep. You'll have 6 in the front, 6 in the back, and you'll want to just put some 2x4 pieces or something like that and build up the height. You can do that on the bins themselves, on the milk crates, or you can do it on the platform that you put up. If you put up a 3-piece hinged plywood platform, it's going to be 48 inches wide or 47.5 inches wide with a little bit of rubber to keep it from scratching the sides of the van. And then piano hinge, and you just make it 3 pieces that fold like a Z fold. 25 inches, 25 inches, 25 inches, that's 75 inches. That's the length of a full-size foam mattress, so that's perfect. And you just fold it up, but the front piece that sits on the front milk crates, you would have that set up with a couple of 2x4s running across it, and that would give you the extra height elevation. Now, your middle section is going to be kind of weak if you do it that way, because that's your gap where the floor is sloping, and you can put a couple uprights there, like table leg kind of uprights, or use stronger plywood, or do whatever. I haven't figured out if I'm going to do a Z fold yet, or if I'm just going to do a couple of sections. What we did in the truck when we did the milk crates is we just had some sections. They weren't attached to each other. You just lift them up and pull them out when you want to. We'll see. I may even just do the single section and forget about it. Just take a 48-inch wide piece, sand it, cover the edge with rubber, and cut it down to 75 inches instead of 8 feet, and leave it like that. Have not decided. The other option, that's why you see the yellow lids back there, is to take and find some containers that are a little taller than the milk crates. Milk crates nominally are about 11 inches high. If you buy the civilian commercially available ones at like Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, you're going to find out that they are about 10 3/4, 10 5/8 high, not quite 11 inches. So you may have a little bit of difference if you're repurposing found milk crates versus buying new milk crates, whichever way, whatever floats your boat. There's a couple of 17-gallon bins, that's what I got here, that I got at Home Depot, where they, with the lid, sit up at 13 inches, 12 3/4 inches. So they are about 2 inches higher than the milk crates. And so I'm going to run 2 of those in the front, and then we're going to put the plywood down. And for the first part of this, I don't think I'm going to cut the plywood. We're just going to have it there. The only reason to have things that fold up is to make it a little bit easier to get at the milk crates. And I don't know if it's always easier. I'd rather lift one thing and prop it up and have access to half the milk crates, and then prop up the front if I need the other half. But if you need to use the center seats, the second row seats for something, and everything folds, you don't have to unpack the van from van life to put up the seats. And that's a consideration, and I'm going to plan for that eventually. This is a Chrysler Town & Country. Same thing as a Dodge Grand Caravan, but it has some interior differences, like extra lights and buttons and doodads. Some of the Chrysler Town & Countries will have rotating second row seats. They can spin. This one does not, but if you have ones that can spin, that makes it a lot more useful for that. And I would definitely be planning to fold up the bed immediately, because that's much more useful if you've got the spinning seats. I think that you get those in the post-2008 models, 2009, 2010 to 2016, something like that. Don't quote me on that. I haven't actually owned one yet. It's something I might be looking for at junkyards, though, is one of the swivel seats. Just one. That would be great. What else? That's it. That is the easiest thing you can do. There are a couple places where you can get kitchen drawer pull-out slides for under $400. So that's a thing. That's about it. I'll give you an update soon. Stay sideways.